Hi. I said I was gonna do some vlogs for when I'm leaving Missoula, or when I have left. And today I just realized that I've gotten everything I can to get out of here. I've done what I'm supposed to. I've completed it. I didn't really leave any stones unturned. I've left a lot of color here. A lot of color was taken from me. I have more color now. I'm wiser. I've seen everything here. I've gone to the cool places, the hidden places. There's nowhere new to explore. And the new places that there are to explore, I'm not interested in seeing. I've talked with all the different types of ladies here. I've danced in the different bars, drinking at them, and I realized that I don't really want to be here anymore. First day I came here, I didn't want to be here for the university. But after being here for long enough, I eventually grew accustomed to it. You know, started wearing knockoff Chacos. Started drinking yerb, all of that. Never got into Zins. I think it's a good thing though. But I'm at a stage where I'm flipping to the next page. I'm looking forward to not really knowing what's next. I'm not the type of person that likes to grow in a room. Because I feel like if I grow in a room, I'll fill in the room. Like I'll have like a foot that looks like a corner. And that's just not really me. I'm looking to grow in my car, breathing some fresh air out of a city. I'm looking towards the challenge of having to pack all my shit into one little car. It's really crazy to say, but I feel like I'm prepared. I used to play a game called Ark Survival Evolved, and I always would pack all my shit into one little tiny hut because I never played with other people. I always played by myself. Can't really trust others. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I still don't really trust many people, if anyone. No, that's not true. I trust Zach and Isaiah. I trust them deeply. And there are others I trust too. Name dropping, I guess, isn't really fucking just something I want to do. I'm not interested in this place. It never really was for me. I added me to this place, and I think in doing so, I'm going to make it more for other people. But it never was for me. Do you ever live in a place or doing something and you realize it wasn't really your path, but it helped you kind of figure out your own way? It was more of an orienteering type thing instead of like, this is the path you're supposed to be on. Like like what is it? When you teach a man to fish, he can get himself a fish every day, but if you give a man a fish, you know, he's gotta ask. I felt like some people kind of just get their fish, they get the right path, you know? Everything goes squeaky clean. Or, you know, not squeaky clean, but enough to the point where they're alive. But they never really learn how to, like, orienteer themselves in the woods when they get lost or scared. I think I got that here. I also, as you guys can see, my hairline's starting to go by. It's actually kind of nice. I remember it was starting to go when I first came here, actually, 4 years ago. Holy shit, is he okay? Yeah, I think he's okay. That guy's okay. He just needs to be more careful with backflips. Sorry. It's one of the kids over there doing a backflip. My hairline was going. And I grew from that. Yeah, it's receding. Yeah, I got a pretty bad hairline. But I'm not okay. I'm not bad with it anymore. Because I remember when I was young, I wanted to grow up so fast. And yeah, maybe I might still kind of have a baby face, but my hairline helps balance it out. I also think it's kind of cute. Of course, under the right circumstances. Otherwise, you kind of look like, a little ugly. But that's what I am. I'm just a little ugly. Just a little bit. I've got other things too. And under the right light and time, I can be pretty handsome. But what I call myself in my heart of hearts is a little ugly. Just a little bit. So women go through so much shit. It's a complete humongous shift. I realized that being here. It's kind of bullshit. It's unfair. I guess it really shouldn't be me saying this, just it's true. I hope that as I grow older, it gets better. I'll try my best to be as aware and possible as I can, do what I can. I used to dance a lot at the Union. I don't go there as much, but I used to dance there. It's a bar in Missoula. People know me there. I get down there. And it was one of the first places that made me feel like a celebrity. Made me feel special. Actually, really the first time I ever felt that was when I came out of my mama's womb and I was catered to. Food, someone wiping my ass. I got a boob in my mouth. It was great. I was living like a king. Then that shit got stripped away. Damn you, maturity. Damn you becoming too old. And then, I guess it sounds creepy. I'm not trying to be creepy. I'm just saying it was... I can subtly remember it, the good life, quote unquote, of just chilling, being like a cat who just doesn't, you don't do anything with your life except you get food, you get paid food, you go to the bathroom and you sit in the sun. That's what I think of as being a kid. And then I grew up out of that, and then you want to get the same amount of attention you got as a kid, but you don't. And so you'll find different ways. And I did cross country. And I was good, but it never really was my thing. And I always felt that I was doing it for other people, not me. Because I love being seen, but I was doing something that I didn't want to do to be seen. I would love to do something that I like doing and then being seen for it. But I just didn't like cross country. It wasn't my thing. And I did so well, but it kind of broke me in a lot of ways. Physically, mentally, spiritually. High school was kind of healing. I had problems then, but compared to middle school, it was genuinely a time of growth. Just not really the best growth, and I was kind of growing in circles in some places, but college, this place was a lot. It was a lot of help. Figured out how to orienteer myself, not growing in circles. But it's sad to know that some people just didn't have those problems. Maybe I shouldn't really compare myself with other people. It's just... sometimes it feels like some problems I have are just a little unfair. I guess justice doesn't really exist in what is. It's what you do with what you got. But... no but. That's just it. I'll figure that out. I'll get better. A lot less insecure, too. I swear, the more you're able to just be seen and accepted for who you are, the less insecure you are. Who would have known? Who would have known? When I stopped doing things for other people because people told me what I was supposed to do, and I started, when I started doing things that were just because I wanted to, and I was good at them, like painting and dancing, talking. Brought a sensation of peace, like peace in a park, you know? I still have it. You know, some lessons leave you, like you forget them, then you remember them, but other times some things just don't. Some bad things, of course, don't leave you, but yeah, some good things don't either. I think the thing that I learned the most while I was here is that the most important part of growing up is learning how to accept the shit you don't like. I think after you accept it, you're able to do discipline, you know? I think that's the whole point of discipline, is accepting things you don't want to do. That's the whole point of discipline. It's maturity. I think trying to have somebody be disciplined before they're mature is like trying to have someone be thirsty before they've had a goddamn glass of water. It's so stupid. Don't rush discipline, you know? You gotta... Of course, there are things that are going to test you, and there'll be points where you will need discipline before you have it, but that's kind of like it's how you learn how to flip, you know? You can't learn how to flip without doing it. Because then at that point, when the time comes, you can't do it. So you got to have trials. And I guess that's what college was for me. It's just a lot of different trials of discipline. And I didn't really party much. I guess I should regret it, but I don't. It was never really for me. It's another reason this town wasn't for me. It's a big party town. I'm even saying that's wrong, but still, I just feel that way. Now all I really want is just a girl, kind, sweet, gentle, soft. I want a town I feel like I belong in. Not a town that teaches me how not to be lost while still being lost. I'd like a town that I can use these skills I've gotten here to feel at home at. I want a place where I can grow a family. I want to feel safe. I want to start advancing my career. I want to grow up. I want to embrace the mundane parts of who I am. I want to accept the things I don't like, you know. It's funny because when you do that, you realize some of the things that you quote-unquote didn't like, you like. It's like when you're a kid and you don't like veggies, and then you finally eat the veggies, and some of them you're like, yeah, it's actually kind of good. And they're good for you. I'm proud of my hairline. Maybe it's something that you really shouldn't be, but maybe it's just something that most people wouldn't consider something to be proud of. Like, if you're born with big tits, should you be proud of them? If you're born with a big dick, should you be proud of it? If you're born like the thing you want to be, should you be proud of yourself because you were born that way? I don't know. I guess I'm more proud of myself, and just because I genuinely enjoy my hairline. It's a huge insecurity that I've been getting over, and it feels nice. See you. Yeah. Have a good day, brother. Yeah. Taught that guy how to do a backflip. He first one he did, he landed on his back, which was pretty bad. But he didn't fully go. And then he did. It's cool. I love teaching people. He's like, you should be a coach. And I realize it's probably more true than I realized, because my favorite people are coaches. Good coaches, like Ted Lasso and shit. People who make me want to feel safe and who cultivate your best. Like, I want to cultivate people. I want to be a father. Like, really badly. And that's not a bad thing. I have more things. Life is like harvest, you gotta recognize maybe now's not the time. But I can work. I got taught how to live in the cold. I can sit down and try to set up my roots, try to learn how to farm. Yeah, it's gonna be hard. But people who use things being hard as an excuse not to do things are cowards. I don't mean to be rude to the people who might feel really personally attached to by that, but just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means it's hard. It just means it'll take time and stuff. I really like teaching people how to do a backflip because I remember I couldn't. Tried so hard over and over. But I would just sit up there on the ledge. And it was funny. I just needed to go, get some alcohol, and then in my mind think of Captain Ahab hunting a white whale, and I could get over the mental block. Drugs, alcohol, all that stuff supposedly is bad for you. But I don't think it is. I think it's actually healthy. Weed, shrooms, alcohol, all that stuff. Of course, within moderation. But moderation means that it exists and it's part of who you are and part of your diet and behavioral set. If you don't drink at all, you don't smoke at all, you don't do anything, you're missing out. Like a huge amount. I'd sit there and I'd be angry with myself. I'd figure out a way to be self-pitying because I couldn't do a backflip. And then I realized it was because it reminded me of when I did cross country. I was trying to do the backflip because there was other people watching me and because I wanted to make them happy. Not because I wanted to do it. And then I was with two beautiful ladies. They helped me out. We were talking about, I think, Kendrick Lamar that day or something. And just genuine positive support allowed me to get over it. Sometimes it just takes love, not criticism. Support and advice and just consistency. Consistent positivity. I think that's the key to fixing and helping people grow and heal and all of that. I don't think it's more pressure. It's not more weight. Don't put more weight on. Because sometimes maybe you're just putting more weight on because you're trying to make them stronger because you couldn't have been, and you're just trying to help them, but in a way you're kind of hurting yourself. Sometimes you just gotta figure out where that person's coming from. You gotta understand the person you're teaching, And I need to learn that more. I need to be better at recognizing who I'm looking at and recognizing how I can get into their shoes and how I can speak at their level to them in their language, in their interests. I need to be able to connect with people better. And that's what I want to do with this journey, is to get to know people as a stranger. And with that, nobody who I know at all. Just being able to go up and talk to people, learn, love, and laugh. I used to be quite an asshole, but quite frankly, it's because I had asshole parents. I think two of you are watching. No disses, but you guys are kind of mean sometimes. Filtration through population, where the fuck, there's no hate. I'm just saying, I grew up in a household where I remember getting beat up by my older brother. I remember that it wasn't really, the things, that good area where you could socialize with your parents. The only time I really had that was with my mom. Me and my dad didn't have that thing we'd share together that was good, that we both enjoyed, that we got closer with. But me and my mom, we did. And that stopped. Right around the time I was getting bullied. I don't blame them or anything. It's just the fact. I'm not going to obscure my vision. I grew up in a place in Would you like some help with that? Would you like some help with that? Okay, cool. Hello. But, yeah, I don't know, it's just... I was taught to care, not to share. I was taught to care, not to share. I was taught you're supposed to eat your food fast. Say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, because that's the rules, not because of respect. And you're supposed to fit. And if you don't, you're a loser. Which is kind of awful. And I wasn't ever explicitly told that, but that was just the indentation. And that's the shit they were dealing with, of course. And, we're all grown from them. One reason I really like the stories of Norse mythology is because a lot of it is talking about how the whole mythology is just trying to make the best of a fucked situation. The whole planet is a rotting corpse of a giant who was a father of Odin. And him and his brothers are just trying their best. The world is full of things that don't really match, don't really fit, and the gruesome is there. And yet there are people and lives who are fighting the best to make it the best it could be. Some things will never change, but some things can. Maybe they can't change much, but they can change at least a little. And I used to be a little bit more pessimistic about it until I got really good at dancing and until I started doing painting. I was able to actualize my own reality, and I wasn't chained. I actually felt satisfied, I think a lot of people want to destroy because they don't know how to create. And they wish they could create, and then they get upset, and then they get angry with themselves. That's like how it is at its core. When people have problems, it's because they never really are taught. So I don't really blame my parents or the fact that their parents didn't really truly sit there and help them feel completely able. I don't blame a divorce that racked my dad. I don't blame people. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be polite and ignore a reality that just makes me eat my own shit. My shit's in the toilet now. And it's kind of funny. It's like sometimes some people will think you think you're better than me because you shit in the toilet type energy. It's crazy. But I realize those people are toxic. They like eating their own shit. And as a person who's actually eaten shit for some really sad reasons, aka I just wanted people to pay attention to me, and I did it because I thought that if I did something extreme, people would finally see me instead of just seeing, I don't know. If I wasn't a ghost, if I could prove that I existed, people could see me. And I did it, and then, 8th graders doing it, you're not really supposed to, but, because, it's fucking weird. Eating your shit's fucking weird. But at the same time, it never really was something that made me feel safe. And I never really learned the lesson from it. Which is, now that I'm still thinking about it, I don't know if I've even learned it now, but the best chance I get at saying it is that you gotta learn from who you were and recognize that maybe some people couldn't have helped you when you were who you were, but you can help yourself now. Some things can be forgotten, the details mulled over, and you can remember things however the fuck you want. Because quite frankly, yeah, it happened, but you're supposed to grow. If you want to romanticize or villainize somebody, that's fine, but only do so if it's for your best interest so that you can be the best you can be. Not for victory or for proving others wrong or spite, but just so you can be happy. Just so that you can make light in other people's lives. It's okay to forget things if you can't carry them. Try to find something else. Try to pick up smaller things. And try to work from where you are now. Try to be reborn in a way that actually helps you. Some things deserve to be forgotten. The lessons, not so much. And the fact that they happened, no. But some things do deserve to be forgotten. Because quite frankly, there's no way to pick it up. Unless you were with a lot of different people who are helping you with it, no way to pick it up. religion helps too. If you really don't want to if you really don't want to give up on it and you don't want to ask people for help, religion's a beautiful tool. Even in some religions though, you have to be social, others you don't. My religion helped me with a lot of my shit. Helps me today with most of my stuff. I mean, I'm still repping it. I still got that shit on me. It's just interesting to see how people lose themselves and how people make excuses for the loss because they're scared to be blamed for it. When you really shouldn't be blamed, you should just try to recognize you need help. I guess that's the main reason that I used to be upset with feminists as well, is because it's like, I used to be so angry with them. I was just like, wow, there's more issues than just men can't cry or men can't hug each other or whatever. It's like, Jesus, like, you guys have gone through shit, yeah, but like men have systemically gone through like getting their heads fucking caved in war and or getting iron lung in caves. Like, yeah, you guys probably dealt with some awful shit. You had no fucking sovereignty. You would get raped. It was awful. Like, there's terrible, awful things in history. But men had it too. And so when you throw the tiniest little bone to a guy, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, men should learn how to cry. I can understand you guys from that perspective. It's like, you guys, no, you don't. Because some issues you couldn't help me with. And I realized I wanted help from ladies to fix me. But in doing so, I'm not a charity case. I have so much beauty, and they liked me for my beauty. And then when I was like, hey, can I get some help? They're like, this is a lot. Because, they're dealing with their own shit. Because, ladies, guys, whoever you are, you have some problem. Even, the quote-unquote straight white guy, life isn't walking on a rainbow. Nobody's is. Even the people who are supposedly the best still have problems. Life's learning how to solve them. It's like why the Buddha says you shouldn't get rid of your suffering. Instead, you should learn how to deal with it. I don't know. I do know. That's what I think. And I don't know. I just now I don't know, but I just say I don't know because I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah, feminism. I was really upset with ladies because I wanted them to help me because it felt like they were helping themselves. And yet I wasn't being helped, and I was so upset because I felt like it was a cause that had so much strength behind it. Yet I never was part of it. I was never seen with it or connected with it. But in time, conversations with different people, and accepting that my problem wasn't with ladies, it was with me not wanting to. It was with me trying to lift a boulder when I was a baby and never letting go, to the point where I'm 22 and I look back and that old version of me is still trying to lift up that goddamn boulder. I could go back and help them, but still, it's a goddamn boulder. I can't even fix it. I'm sorry, I'm not Sisyphus, and I don't give a shit about moving a boulder. I don't care who told me to. It's a stupid-ass boulder. I want to do whatever I want. I'll be free. It's no longer in my interest. And that's one good thing about negativity, is you embrace your selfishness so you can heal from toxic selflessness, which is a thing. When you are selfless to the point where when you put on the oxygen mask over somebody else instead of your own face, it's like you trying to fix other people before you're even fixed yourself. It's negative. You need to look at yourself and recognize yourself as an important figure within your own life. And yeah, don't be selfish to the point where you're eating other people or you're taking things from other people. You should learn how to be independent. And part of that is being able to be self-aware, self-connected, and follow your own interests and take care of your own needs. And you need to be selfish for that. But that doesn't mean you need to lose yourself. You need to be selfless and selfish. And that balance between the two is when you're virtuous. I keep saying you need to, and I recognize, I was talking with a friend of mine, and I noticed he kept trying to audition his understanding of the world to me, and I realized that's what I do with other people. I'm doing it now. But at the same time, I learn from it. Yeah, it's corny, but I learn. It's positive. And even if someone does it to me and I'm past it, I still learn from it. It's funny, sometimes somebody can do something that's selflessly selfish or selflessly selfishly selfless. I don't know. You could just do something that affects you. And you're different after. Even if you've already heard it, sometimes you don't need to, look up at the sky to understand that it's blue. But sometimes you can look up in the sky and it'll teach you something about your parents or about learning a language. Just quite frankly, just because, I don't know. I guess I don't really know there. I need to learn how to say I don't know more, I guess. Not I guess. I need to learn how to say I don't know when I don't know instead of giving an answer to something I don't know. Because in the past, I would give answers to things that I don't know to prove that I was useful and to prove that I could fit and lift the boulder. But in doing so, I never fucking lifted the boulder. I just kind of tugged at it. And then I was like, yeah, I tugged at it. Look at me. Got a huge ego because I proved to myself that I was enough. And because every single thing I was always doing was proving my worth, I got an inflated ego. That's why, I don't know. It's why when you have too much conditional things in your life, you lose yourself. It's another thing, selfishness and selflessness. You need to have a balance of conditional and unconditional. Of, okay, well, I'm going to do this for this reason, or I'm going to help this person so I can get this one thing, versus the unconditional. You can't just be completely unconditional. At that point, you're not like a Christian, you're a fucking martyr, and you're selfish martyr at that. Like, recognize that when you sacrifice, that means something. You mean something. And there's a lot of people who use selflessness as a way to not take responsibility for their own meaning or their own purpose. I've learned a lot here, but I realize more often than not that my lessons I learn are usually based off of new frontiers. I learn more in new areas than I do, or in a place I've been but doing something new, than I do doing the same thing over and over. And there are people and ways of learning something from doing the same thing over and over, like looking up at the sky. But I'm fine looking up at the sky in a different city. And that's fine, I'll be traveling. Yeah, I'm gonna be homeless, but I'm also gonna be living life rent-free, so I don't plan to do it forever. And as soon as I reach a specific money amount, I'm going to settle in a town, even if it's either permanently or temporarily, and get a job, get an apartment, get working. But yeah, it's not easy. At least I haven't done it yet, so I can't say it's not easy or it's hard or it's easy or whatever. But we'll do it. I'm still healing. And though I'm a philosophy major who wants to always kind of say the poignant thing, I'm not going to always be poignant. Nobody is. I can get better at it, though. But that shouldn't be my goal. My goal is to live and to learn and to have fun. It's to live, to learn, and to laugh. Yeah. It's live, laugh, love, but at the same time, I like live, learn, laugh. I guess also live, learn, love, laugh. This doesn't match. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today. There might be a couple more videos before I'm actually on my road trip, but this is kind of my ode to Missoula. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you're my kid. That'd be cool. If you're not, if you're a family member or a friend or just someone, that's okay too. Hopefully you got something out of it. But it'd be so cool if my kid could look back at this and be like, oh my God, this is so cool. I could get to know my dad. But at the same time, I don't know, because I wish I got that, because my dad doesn't have like videos or stuff where he's his old self. I'd love to see who he used to be. It's like a mystery. But I bet my kid's gonna get so oversaturated with who I used to be that he's just like, ah. Or she's gonna be like, gee. Or they're gonna be like, ah. Or maybe they'll see it. Maybe I'll be dead. It's like 40 years from now, and they'll be looking at this. Or maybe I fell, and I'm like dead. And people are looking at this, and they're like, oh, we wish. Maybe making it all about them. But at the same time, it's like, I guess I shouldn't even be angry with them. That's what I would want. If I die, it's probably, I can assure that I died the way I was wanting to. I died the way that I wanted to because I was living that way. So, if it's 40 years from now, or 2 weeks from now, and I'm dead, recognize that you shouldn't be upset because of something. You should recognize that was the way I was going to go. It's the universe. I'm not committing suicide, of course. None of that. Just saying. Little Arthur, or whatever your name is, it'd be kind of cool if that's what your name was. I think there's Arthur... Cletus? Jesus, no, not Cletus. What else was there? There's another one. I think it was Clark or some other name. Luffy? Oh my gosh, your name's Luffy? Then if your name is Luffy, then that must mean I have the most hot, attractive, wonderful woman as a wife. And if that is true, please, if you're watching this right now, can this like turn into like, oh, we need to make another. The next one's gonna be named Zoro. And then after that, we're gonna have Sanji. Then Brooke. Then Frankie. If we have a girl, her name is Robin or Nami. We're not naming our kid Chopper though. That can be the dog. Fuck that, I'm not naming my kid Chopper. Fuck that.